So in today's video, I wanted to talk about snow foams and some mistakes that you could possibly be making, as they are definitely some mistakes I've made in the past. I'll also be giving some recommendations of snow foams and foam cannons. As you can see, I've got a decent amount to choose from behind me later on in the video. So I'm going to kick things off with one of the first mistakes I think you can make, and that is having a reduced flow rate without really realising it. So by this, I mean having any small leaks in your entire system. So there are quite a few different places this can happen. Can actually be from just your outside tap, it could be from your garden hose, could be going into your pressure washer, and it could also be on your short trigger or your pressure washer gun if there are any loose connections there, even down to the adapter that you've got on your foam cannon. Making sure everything's tight and there aren't any leaks can make quite a considerable difference in terms of the foam quality. So if your pressure washer isn't getting the flow rate it wants, the foam you're going to get out the end of that foam cannon just isn't going to be as good quality, and it's not going to have the right kind of consistency. So it's a really simple thing to check. Next time you do set up your pressure washer, just see if there are any sort of small niggling leaks. They might be quite easy to fix, and they can make quite a bit of difference. Now, next up is using the wrong orifice on your foam cannon. Now, I know there is advice out there that if you want thick foam, switch to a smaller orifice. So most people will drop from a 1.25, which is what most foam cannons come with, down to a 1.1mm orifice. It's a really cheap kind of change. It probably costs a few quid on eBay or Amazon to get that new part. But in some cases, this just isn't the best thing to do. What that orifice is controlling is the amount of flow of water that can go through your foam cannon. If you make that hole too small, you can create back pressure onto your pressure washer, and it can cause it to pulse, and it can even cause it to break in some circumstances. That's why you should kind of match your flow rate to the orifice size rather than just sizing down as a one-size-fits-all kind of option. So for most people's setups, most kind of mid-range pressure washers, 1.25mm orifice is generally okay. If you're using something really weak, so things like a ACHQ, you can still get good foam from it, but maybe you're going to want to switch to a 1.1 there. You can look it up online based on your pressure washer's flow rate and pressure, and I will try and find a chart to link in the description too. But don't just size down unless you're happy that that's suitable for your pressure washer, and do keep an eye out for any issues like pulsing and any strange noises with your pressure washer, as it could indicate that you've got back pressure issues. The third mistake I think is quite common is caring too much about the thickness of the snow foam. Now, thick snow foam doesn't necessarily mean it's a better product, and there are actually thinner snow foams on the market that do a lot better at cleaning than the super thick kind of shaving cream ones. I think the main thing really is cleaning ability and getting a dwell time to match that. If your snow foam cleans really well after only dwelling on the car for about 3 to 4 minutes, then there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you have time to rinse it off. There are also some snow foams that when you use them very concentrated, they actually are so thick that they can kind of drag themselves off the panel and create kind of dry spots, and it just is totally counterproductive. Having a nice consistency where it's wetting the panel and not drying out too quickly, but just a snow foam that has good cleaning ability, is kind of the most important thing, and I wouldn't get too caught up in having super thick foam and thinking that's the be all and end all. Now, kind of leading on from that is using either the wrong dilution ratio or panel impact ratio. Now, I know a lot of people hate panel impact ratio, as it does seem fairly complicated. If you want to get into it, and particularly if you're using a snow foam where it recommends it, like Built Hamber mainly, I think Garage Therapy use it too, I will leave a link in the description to a video I've done where it will take you through the process in hopefully what will be a straightforward way, so it's easy to understand. The reason why panel impact ratio is actually quite helpful and is worth looking into is because the actual dilution, say you're putting a 1:9 dilution in your snow foam bottle and then spraying it onto the car, depending on what foam cannon and pressure washer you've got, the actual concentration that's hitting the panel can be different, and it can be quite considerably different. Sometimes it's 10 times more diluted, sometimes it's 20 times more diluted. So working out your panel impact ratio can be quite helpful, as it just allows you to keep things more consistent. If you do, say, have multiple foam cannons, for example, if you are using a new product, then obviously always go with what the manufacturer recommends. Usually it's a range. Try the lowest concentration to begin with and dial it up if you feel like you need it. It's going to save you money, especially if you don't need as much products as you actually think you do. Now, when you're done for the day with the snow foam cannon, one big mistake you can make is not actually cleaning that foam cannon. Now, it's not that hard to do so. If your foam cannon's empty, pop a bit of water in it, spray it through for about 20 seconds, and then just pour it out. And that's going to really help to keep all your system clean, so from the pickup pipe to the actual filter as well. And it's going to stop it getting clogged with soap residue. particularly if you're using things like foam sealants through your foam cannon. If you don't do this, you're going to notice it's going to get clogged fairly quickly. If you do have some snow foam left in your bottle and you don't want to kind of decant it into something else or pour it away, then just take the bottle off the actual sort of head of the foam cannon and spray it for a few seconds. It's going to flush most things through apart from really the pickup pipe. So it's not as good, but if you do it on the next wash, you're probably not going to really have any issues. So just taking a little bit of time to actually just quickly rinse through your foam cannon after a wash can save you from having to spend longer actually maintaining it in future. Leading on from this, I do have a video on the second channel where I show how to take apart popular foam cannons and give them a proper clean. So if you do notice that the performance of your foam cannon isn't as good as it was on the first day you used it, then maybe worth having a look at that video and seeing if a deep clean will help you there. The next mistake really is using just a poor quality foam mantle. Now, if you have gone for really cheap foam mantles, pay sort of £10–15 for one, then you're probably not going to get as good foam as if you paid a little bit more. Now, I know a lot of foam cannons have got really expensive, and there are some here behind me that I think are around £80. I do think that that is a lot of money to be spending on a foam cannon, and although they have some nice features, it's absolutely not necessary to get decent foam. I do have one, I think it's that one, which is the ACHQ Pro 2, which is on Clean Your Car, and off the top of my head, I think that's less than £35. Still, yeah, a decent bit of money, but the foam is actually really good and it's got some nice features too. So one worth looking at if you're looking for something budget friendly but still good quality. I do have a comparison of all the kind of main foam cannons, which I uploaded I think last year, just like MJJC, MTM, Active, and a few others as well. So worth watching if you are in the market for a new one too, and again that'll be linked in the description. Now next up is about choosing a snow foam that doesn't really do all that much in terms of cleaning, which is the main thing at least that I look for as it's part of the pre-wash stage. Now generally you can split the overall snow foam market into pH neutral and alkaline ones. Speaking very generally, alkaline ones do tend to have the better cleaning ability. pH neutral ones, some are better than others, some do very little, some do have decent cleaning ability. Some of my favourite ones in terms of cleaning are Built Hammer Touchless, Garage Therapy, Snow Foam and Squid Ink Alka-Froth. All those actually have really good cleaning ability, particularly if you're using the snow foam as your only pre-wash, you're not using a citrus pre-wash, for example, underneath. Cleaning ability is kind of the main thing to look for. Now, I did also want to touch on using your foam cannon during the contact wash. I know it's a really popular product to apply whatever you're using onto the car to do your contact wash with and go in with your mitts. However, it is important to choose the right chemical. What I would avoid using is whatever snow foam you use for your pre-wash. If you're using a traditional snow foam, they have very, very little lubrication and they're not going to provide adequate sort of lubrication to wash your car safely and could well result in scratches and swirl marks. Instead, go for a shampoo. I know it's annoying having to mix up a new chemical, but it is so worth it. Most shampoos work well at a 1:9 dilution in the foamants and they provide a lot of lubrication, and it can be a really good method when you do it that way. What I also wouldn't do though is use it as a substitute for your pre-wash. Always do your pre-wash first if you're using snow foam, citrus pre-wash, whatever it happens to be, and then go in with your shampoo for your contact wash. Don't just skip it and go straight in with your shampoo and start using your mitt, as again, the risk of scratches and swirl marks is going to be increased drastically. Now, all the products that I've mentioned are going to be linked in the description, as well as the relevant videos too. If you have enjoyed this video, it'd be brilliant if you could drop it a like, and thanks very much for watching.